Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. Yep, it's that time again. Welcome to Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And my website's jasonnewland.com. So hey, I really do need to do some tidying up. I really do need to do. Too many do's in that sentence, wasn't there? I need to do. That means I really need to do it. That's like not just maybe like a rule. I just had a little bit of a shave, which is pretty weird considering I've got this big beard, but I sort of shaved around it to try and make it look a bit more tidier. I'm not sure if it worked. I'm not sure. The glasses were a bit steamed up for some reason. Well. So, I hope you're all well. And I had a lovely message from, where is it? It's there, from Ruth. Ruth says, Hi, Ruth. Just a quick message to say a huge thank you for your podcasts, especially the Stop Smoking sessions. They have been instrumental in my finally being able to quit the ciggies for good. Yay, good for you. Just wanted you to know how much I appreciate the help and to encourage you with your podcasts. You do so much good. Hope the mouth's feeling better. Best wishes, Ruth. Thank you, Ruth. That's very kind. I'm glad that my podcasts have been, I make some weird noises, have been useful. I think it's strange the noises that our throats make that are not very noticeable unless you stick a microphone up your nostrils. You know, if you've got a microphone right in your face, you can hear the weirdest, like weird noises that normally, like even breathing, like I've pretty much been breathing for quite a while. But now I get a little bit self-conscious, a little bit sometimes, but it's okay. Itchy ear. So, thank you, Ruth. That's very kind. I should try and... What's happened? Oh, the TV's gone weird. It's basically gone off of what it was. I did have it on a video of me, but in the background, like there was a video of me, and I thought it'd be funny just to have a still frame of me. I don't know why, it just amused me. But the TV's taking it off. So even the television rejects me. So is it Wednesday today, I think? Wednesday, the 2nd of Nov, 2022. And yeah, that's where we are. Oh yes. So I hope you're all okay. Hope everything's fine. I'm trying to make regular video versions of the podcast, or film myself making the podcasts. And it's it's a lot of falafel sometimes. But it'll be worth it in the end. But I'm probably not going to make a video of every podcast. And also another weird noise. Also, if you are listening, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you're only going to be watching the version without music. Unless I add some music. I'm pointing at you now. Unless I add some music. But it will be different from the podcast. And I do different versions of the same podcast episode. So I've got one which is 10 hours long with music and like affirmations, positive affirmations, counting down and things like that, quite a low level volume, which can be, well, I'm guessing that they're useful because they are the most popular ones out of all of them. Whatever podcasts I do, the one that are 10 hours long are way more popular than any of the others. Although some people prefer the 5 hours, some people prefer the ones without music, some people prefer the ones with background music, but just for the same length as the normal recording. So it's everyone to their own. It's, you know, if no one listened to a particular version of the recording, like no one ever listened to the 5 hour ones, for example, I'd cease to do them. But because people do listen to them as well, I continue. Yes. So everything's going okay. It's an average day here. It's been very windy. Very, 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 very windy. Like proper windy. 2 days of wind. And I'll be honest, I like wind. I do. Provided it's not coming out of someone's bum and it's facing towards me, I like wind. I just do. I like the sound of it. Even when it rattles the windows, and I don't know, I just quite like it. I like nature. Or should I say, I like hearing nature. I'm quite an auditory person. So I do like to listen to things. I like the sounds of some things. I'm visual as well. You know, I do appreciate like a good movie, you know, the special effects or the cinematography. I do appreciate that. And some other beautiful things I like to see. I like to look at. But I think I'm more of a using my ears than, yeah. I mean, sometimes I watch a YouTube video and I'll close my eyes. And the video, let's say it's a lecture or it's a video about brain functions or yeah, I'm great fun at the weekend, me. It could be anything. It could be a video from a specialist on chronic pain, or it could be, whatever. And, maybe it lasts for an hour and a half. And I close my eyes. I'll just lean back on my chair and listen. It's nice. Sometimes I'll stick Spotify on and listen to an album, or sometimes I'll listen to Audible, listen to a book. Sometimes I'll listen to the radio. My favourite radio station is LBC, which is it's like well, not all of them, but most of the radio shows are phone-in. Not all of them, but most of them are. And I mean, I'm interested. I'm interested to hear different people's opinions, and constantly surprised. I'm setting myself to sleep here. Constantly, I'm rocking myself. That's what it is. I'm rocking my chair. I'm doing everything but burp myself. I'm so I turn this little baby, rocking away. I fall asleep. It's nice just to sit there with my head back and, just listen to the radio or listen to some music. When I'm in bed, say if I have a nap, sometimes when I go to bed at night, I listen to the radio or I will listen to Audible. Sometimes I think earlier today, because I got up quite early and then I went back to bed. Just check that the thing's recording. And I listened to, I'll tell you what it was. What was it? It was on Spotify. The 50 greatest pieces of classical music. And I mean, I don't know how long it lasts for, but a long time. It doesn't give the time. Normally they do, don't they? No? Oh, okay. But it was really good. It's like it's some very well-known songs, but it's all kind of slow. And I just lay there and it was relaxing. Because sometimes if it's a radio show and sometimes they get a little bit heated, get a little bit excited because of the subject matter. It's not always that relaxing. And sometimes if I'm listening to Audible, listening to a book, and if it's a book that I've not, listened to before, then I might not know what the content's going to be. And, it might be, like, what was that? Or there might be, a bit of a jingle. There's on a Friday night, I quite like to go to bed and listen to LBC radio, and it's a DJ called Nick Abbott. Is it still DJ or is it radio presenter? But either way, his name's Nick Abbott. But he does jingles and he does sort of weird sounds during the show. And none of them affect me apart from one. There's one particular thing, and it's a happy birthday tune, and it's quite high pitched, like like that. And it's like wakes me up every time. It wakes me up. So I drift off, and then I hear and I genuinely, for at least a second, don't know what it is. I'm like thinking, is it my phone? Is my phone ringing? Is it a text? Why would it be a text? I haven't had a tune connected to my texts since 2003. No one needs a tune attached to their texts. I mean, at the most, vibrate. I don't even have vibrate. My screen flashes on and off if I get a text, and if the phone's near me, I see it. there's really going to be an urgent text, an emergency text. Not in my life. I mean, I realise maybe some people's lives there is, but for me, if something's an emergency or very important, I'd call them. I wouldn't send them a text. But saying that, I've been dumped by text at least twice. So it's a long time ago. That's when it was a popular thing to do. That's when it was fashionable. But I just don't want to be, I don't get many texts. I don't get much in the way of phone calls or anything really. I get the occasional text, but it's not very often. More like, how are you doing? Well, that's about it. But I remember there's someone sitting in the garden a few weeks back, and their text went off. It was probably every 30, 40 seconds. Or something like that, And it went on for about 2 or 3 hours. This was in the summer, so I guess maybe there was sunbathing or whatever. I don't know who it was. I do. No, I don't. And I was excited on my windows open because it was summer. In fact, I had my windows open in the winter. Got them open now. Have I got them? I feel I've got them open. I've definitely got them open in the bedroom. There's a certain smell in there that has to be released daily. There isn't. I don't know why. There probably is, but it's just, why would I say that? Why? I love the windows open. I like to have some air. It's nice. So something that I've been doing, something I've done, it's a new thing. Where is it? I have started. No, this isn't right. No, do. Okay, so I'm coming back. You lost me for a second. Where is it? Wait a minute. Okay. I've started to share to promote my posts on Facebook. So you can boost posts if you put something on your page. So let's have a look. My Facebook page is... Where are you? Oh, I'll tell you what, if I come out of there, I go, oh, there we are, Facebook. Jasonnewland hypnotist. So I've got 27,000 followers, which isn't, only took me 17 years to get that. And, okay, fair enough. So what I've been doing is I've started sharing, or boosting rather, the posts that I put onto that page. I only did this a couple of days ago. I only just started, so it's a new thing. And, this is really... I'm trying to... Professional insights. What are you doing? I'm trying to find out how to do it. Overview. Okay, anyway, I started to post like, I don't know how it works. I guess it's posted on the main Facebook page, I guess, as an advert or something. So far, I've shared the Spotify podcast for the Let Me Bore You to Sleep, and I shared the Relaxing Hands video that I did, which was a podcast as well. That was 2 days ago. And I also shared my last Let Me Bore You to Sleep, but that's still being processed at the moment. But so far, for the 900, what is going on? That's really strange. I'm trying to figure it out. Go away. This is weird. Professional dashboard. Okay. It says that for the Spotify, it basically just says over 900 podcast episodes since 2018. Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Jasonnewland. So post reached 2003. I guess from that it's been shown 2003 times, and I've had 52 people engage with it. I guess clicked it and watched it, listened, or went to the podcast or whatever. And with the ASMR number 460, Relaxing Hands Deep Sleep Whisper from 2 days ago, I've had 1,376 people reached, but I've had 149 people click. So it's a much higher, less people reached, but a lot more people engaged. So, and I've had 7 new page likes to this page as well, to the Facebook page. So it's just one of those, I have done it before. It's not the first time I've done it, but yeah, I really have done it. I've done it a few times. It wasn't that long ago. See more. Let's wonder when the first one was. See more. I just want to see how far back. Blimey. Oh no, this isn't. This is just telling me how the engagement, how many people clicked on the post that I put and how many people it reached. That's all it is. So when I posted something on Saturday the 29th of October, it reached 49 people. 49 people saw it. But I didn't pay anything. I just posted it. But when I paid, it reached, I was getting 1,376 or 2003. And instead of one engagement, 149 people clicked on it, or 52 on the other one. And that's for £1 a day. Just a pound for each one per day. And I can have it for 1 day, or I can have it for a year. It's obviously I'm not going to have it for a year, but just let you know, that's what I mean. It's up to me. So it just shows how, for such a small amount, what I'm going to be doing is I've got another thing that I've got all these things going on that I'm trying to help to promote what I'm doing. So I'm using these different tools. Yeah, I said the word tools. And I'm going to be just testing, because I had this idea actually. Sniffy. I had this idea. Tell me what you think. I've got a cull of ideas. Tell me what you think. I just realised that one might not be popular, but here's the idea. Drinking that drinks made my throat go all weird. The first thing I was thinking of doing is, well, it's not first or second really, just two different things. I'm thinking of putting together like a little podcasting course. Now, not from a really difficult perspective, like how to make it all complicated and, you know, to show off how technical I am, because I want to make it really simple, because I'm very simple. You know, I've always tried to keep things quite basic. And you can tell if you watch my videos or in the past, everything's a bit basic. However, I realised I do know a few things. So I might be useful to a very beginner. Like a very beginner, not someone that knows what they're doing and they've already been doing it for a while. No, I'm not. I'm no expert on anything. But for a very beginner who's never had a podcast, doesn't know what equipment to get, doesn't know, what podcast hosting to use, maybe not sure about editing software or other stuff that I've kind of had to figure out along the way. I've still got a long way to go. I'm still very basic. And then, little promotional things like that. So it'd be a very, very beginner's course. And maybe do it for Udemy. But I'll be coming from a perspective of building something over 17 years, starting and having tested pretty much every podcasting host that there is, apart from some of the newer ones that maybe have come over the last few years. And all the sharing with the different podcasts and all the different things, the RSS feed, and all things that can seem a little bit daunting, I guess, to someone that's, all they want to do is just make a recording and release it, there you go. And to make it as easy as possible for people. So that's what I was thinking. Maybe I might make a little course, and it will be little. I mean, I don't know, because clearly I struggle to condense things down verbally. It takes me an hour to order a sandwich when I, go into Greg's. So it's, I don't know if because I'll be making videos and I'll be doing some audios and there'll be some PDF files and stuff like that. They really need to change the name of that PDF file. If you say it quickly, PDF file. Mind you, PDF, the file bit is redundant, isn't it? Doesn't it stand for file? Isn't the F for file? PDF. Portable document format. No, it doesn't. That shows you what I know. But now I do. We all know now. Did you know before? I knew what a portable document format PDF was. because they've been around for forever. Since I was 3. Ton. PDF. So PDF file. PDF file. PDF file. See, you can't say it quick, can you? I wonder if anyone else has noticed that. So that should be the title of this. Do not say PDF file too quickly. Oh, yeah, the other thing is my Patreon. Now, I do have a Patreon. I don't know if I can sign into it here. Accept. I accept. Sign in, Verify this device. By seeing a very okay, actually, to be fair, sign into Patreon. Now, Google. It's that one. I know it's that one because I get. Let's see if it's that. Is it this? Nope. I don't know what it is then. Forgot. Update. Anyway, I shouldn't do that now. I was thinking to offer. I'm laughing at this. I shouldn't really. I was thinking of maybe offering people, my listeners, watchers on video, YouTube, whatever, but my podcast listeners, an opportunity to sponsor me or support me on Patreon. Offer them that sounds good, doesn't it? It's very salesy. I want to offer you the opportunity to give me money. What it would be is I could then offer and post my podcast episodes onto Patreon ad-free, so there's no adverts. So, for just a monthly fee, so you could support me on Patreon, and I could have that because I can make recordings that will only be available in Patreon, and if you have to be a member. That's kind of obvious, isn't it? I don't know why I'm explaining that. Yeah, we figured out what you meant when you said it the first time. Yeah, so only patrons would be able to have access to those records. Yeah, we got it the second time as well. Okay, I don't know why, I just want to explain it. I'm excited, semi-excited. I got a semi of excitement going on. It's raining now. Can you hear that in the microphone? The rain. Can you hear the rain? So I don't know. It could be a way of doing things. It could also be you could have access to the recordings before they're available on the podcast as well. So it's kind of like a double excitement. I don't know what the recommended amount would be. I really don't know. But is it something that would be useful to ya? because, to be honest, the cost of running this is gone up exponentially over the last couple of years with all the equipment I've got and just promoting and everything. It's just all adds up. Software and the various different things that I pay out for. So, and I'm very limited to how many adverts I can have on the podcast. So if I was a normal podcaster, if I was just normal, I just want to be normal. Please let me be. I want to be a real boy. And I was just thinking I would have 3 times the adverts on my podcast. I would have adverts at the beginning. I'd have adverts, at least 1 in the middle. With the length of my podcasts, probably 2 or 3 throughout, but at least 1 in the middle, and then another 1 at the end. Now, I don't have any adverts once it's started. Once I start talking, there's no adverts in between or at the end, just at the beginning, and they're not always on. This depends. I don't have any control over when they're on, but they're available. That slot is available. Which means, if I was doing like an interview podcast or stories about true crime, they're very popular. Things like that, I'd be able to put adverts in, and I'd have 3 times the amount coming in, 3 times the amount of adverts being listened to, which would then mean I would be with Spreaker, I'd be like a special client to them, because then I would have my own service advisor person. I wouldn't have to pay to use their service because of the revenue I have coming in. So I wouldn't have to pay for the podcast hosting, and I'd have more money coming in. It's kind of, but at the moment, because I've only got adverts at the beginning, I'm not eligible for all the other stuff that most people would have if they had adverts, and if they were at the same level of listenership that I am, they would have that. If someone else was getting 300,000 plus downloads a month, they would they would very likely not have to pay for their thing, for their hosting, because they'd have adverts in the middle and the. You've already told it. Why are you repeating yourself, JJ? There's a thing in public speaking, isn't there? The thing, so you tell the audience what you're going to say. You then tell them what you're going to, then you'd say it to them, and then at the end you tell them what you've said. So something like that. So that's kind of what I'm doing, but just one after another. Maybe. Should we do some active listening? Just nod your head furiously, like a nodding dog. Active listening. Oh man, that's made me dizzy. I can't. Active listening. I've seen that in action, and it's. Some people genuinely are interested in what's being said, and you can tell that. Whether they're nodding, whether they're knitting, whether they're like digging a hole in the ground, you can tell how interested someone is by their kind of just generally their demeanor. If someone's very not interested, why pretend you are if you're not? There doesn't seem much point in that, does there? I mean, even if it's an interview, so you're interviewing someone. Let's say you know that's your job, interviewing people. Why show an interest in that person if they're not interested in you? You know, if they're not stimulating you, because that's out on there. That's on them, isn't it? To be interesting to you as the interviewer. As the interviewee, it's down to them to be interesting, to grab your attention. Before anyone says anything, I know I just repeated myself again. This is one of those repeaty podcasts. So there. What's it to you? What's it to you? Oh, I've got an itchy back. Oh, that's better. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe, I don't know if that would be of interest. It'll only be $1,000 a week, you know, so it's not much. What I don't, I might have like a really high level of just have a basic level, but then have a really high level where maybe I'll do podcasts in a Basque or something. I don't know. I don't know. Just why would I say that? Should I get my own? You know what? I reckon if I went on Facebook, I could get people to pay me money not to open an OnlyFans page, not to open it, not to start one. I reckon I could raise quite a lot of money to not start. Why am I keep repeating that as well? I'm repeating everything today, including the repeating everything. Ah, had a little nap earlier. Got woken up 20 to 9. Yeah, nearly 2 hours ago. No, nearly 3 hours ago. Like, time goes so quickly. I've hardly done anything since then, yet the time's gone so quickly. It's nearly time for bub-eyes. Just checking the audio's still recording. Otherwise, you're just going to have the camera sound. That will happen. It happened before when I forgot to press record, but luckily I was like 15 minutes in, so I started again. Now, if I stop, if I start and I forget to press record on the camera, it doesn't matter so much. But you know, as long as I've got the podcast, that's the main thing. But if I'm sitting here talking for an hour and I haven't got the audio, that's just, it's just like what I do the rest of the time when I'm not making recordings, just chatting to myself. Because sometimes I will sit there and I'll talk to myself. Just thought I'd explain that to you. Stop mansplaining. Mansplain. Some of the terms these days, you know, lately over the years is, I don't know, I've not looked into it, but has it always been like that? And what I mean is, does the society, I guess it must be, bring in new phrases and new words and new terms and almost try to rewrite or try to change the language? I mean, does it happen in all languages? But I don't know the answer. I do wonder. Oh, that's my ankle gone again. It's weird, very crickety. Crickety Mr. Cricket. I just want to be a real boy. So I just think, I just wonder, because I don't remember that in the 90s, I don't remember like any particular new terms. I remember the 2000s, about 2001, people started being chavvy or whatever, and it was like a new, like pretending to be, I don't know what it was exactly. I didn't really understand the chav title. I think it's people that didn't necessarily have much would dress. I don't know. Like wear designer clothes, or it's like, I don't know if it was, I think it was like the middle class putting down the working class who actually were doing okay for themselves and trying to, drive nice cars and dress nicely. I don't know. I think that might be what it is. I might have it wrong. But as a working class person myself, I've never been middle class. And I do wonder, was I middle class? When I was born working class, I was born, I lived in a council estate when I was born. My nan and granddad lived on a council estate all of their lives, and then they moved to another council estate, and they lived there all of their lives, so I'm definitely not, I would say I'm upper class. I'm I'm up. I'm not sure I would say that. That's the albino gorilla, Boris. Albino gorilla. That's cruel. Hell, who would say something like that? The albino. I don't think I've ever seen anyone as white as him in my life. He was the whitest prime minister ever. He was. No one mentioned it. No one really seemed to. No one seemed to notice. Very white. Like, I'd love to be that white instead of pink. I've got a pink face. I was born with a pink face. I'd love to have a white face. I'm not white. You're Caucasian. No, I'm pink. If anything, I'm probably Apache. I must have some kind of Apache heritage or something. That's what I think. And it's not derogatory. It's just generally, I reckon, I hope I have. Can you imagine having your hereditary to the original people of a land, to be able to trace it back? So let's say my granddad, because I don't know, just saying, let's say he went out to, or his dad. So my granddad's dad went out to America, or maybe his dad, and got into a relationship with someone from a tribe, from a Apache. I don't know what the correct terminology is these days, but whatever the correct term is, and he got pregnant, came back to England, had the baby. His wife didn't know that, she just assumed that it was English, it was hers. But noticed that there was just a little difference. like to dance around fires. And it's like, no, I don't know, this is wrong. But holding a tomahawk. No, it's, I don't know. That's what I think. I think I'm definitely not from, there's something in me. I mean, I might, to be fair, because of where I'm living in England, my heritage may be the Romans. That explain this nose. And, of course, they weren't white, were they? They were tanned. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe I've got, like, some of that in me. Maybe Julius Caesar was on the boat coming over here to visit. He got pregnant and he pooed out the baby and left it here. And then my great granddad married her, or him, she, him, or whatever, whichever way it was. And then here I am, because this red skin is not just me, it's hereditary. It's come from like there and then from there. So, this is weird. The thing is, look, the rest of me is fine. Well, I say it's fine, but it's different. It's just a facial thing. It's not fair. No, there is another part that, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, I'm wondering if it's maybe, do a Patreon. Never got a lot of interest the first time round. But one of my things is consistency isn't always, I've never been very consistently consistent. Apart from, I just keep doing what I'm doing. Year in, year out, trotting along, blurting out, blah, blah, but in a sense of like, well, I'm going to make one recording every day. It doesn't always work out that way. I do try. I do. Honest. I do. I really do. But it doesn't, doesn't always work out exactly perfect. So, if let's say I start a Patreon page, I've probably started about 5 or 6 over the years, probably more. Just Giving ones as well, I did that. I raised about £100. Wow. £100? Yeah. Don't mock it. What are you mocking me for? Don't you mock me, don't you dare. I remember when I worked in a pub when I was 18. Still remember there's this little Irishman. I just remember because we lived in a place, there was no Irish, it wasn't Ireland. He's probably my height, so he was little. I'm not very tall. But he was so he had little man syndrome. Little man syndrome. He's always loud, always showing off, always bragging. I say always, when he was in the pub. When he wasn't there, he might have been wonderful. But when he was in the pub, he was not wonderful. He was a nasty little runt. I said runt, R-U-N-T, not a swear word. It was this and he kept saying, like, don't rail me, don't rail me, don't you dare rail me. Like threatening everyone, don't you rail me. Or I'll get my stepladder and I'll punch you in the belly button. Don't you rail me. I was like, just... It was one of the only people that I really didn't like very much, because he's just, don't you rail me. Oh, he beat this person up. Oh, he did this. Oh, it's like, and he was always swearing. Naughty word after naughty word. I asked her, I was shocked. I didn't expect that. I was only just turned 18. I didn't know about swearies. He was doing swears all the time. Doing swears. Don't you rail me. Wee. Honestly, he was... Thinking about it, he probably looks like me now. Like red face, little grey beard. Don't you rail me, you young man. Oh, I hit you with my stick. Yeah. It was just... I'll throw me lollipop at you. Yeah, it was a weird old man. He wasn't old. He's probably only... to me, he was in his 50s, but reality, because I was a teenager, in reality, he might have still been in his 20s, late 20s, 30s, something like that. Don't you rail me. He's honestly, I had to look over the counter to see him. Of course, I needed a ladder to do that myself. Sometimes I had a little chandelier and I'd swing from the chandelier so I could wave hello to him. He'd look up at me. We had a connection. But we knew that we couldn't really do anything with it. He had to act the tough man in front of all his friends. I had to pretend to know what I was doing behind the bar. I guess we just needed to move on with our lives without pursuing the endless possibilities of what that friendship could have become. That's very poetic. I love a little bit of poems. A little bit of poems, even if it didn't rhyme. Poems don't have to rhyme, See, if you studied poetry, you'd know that. Really? Yeah, a lot of poems don't have to rhyme. Has anyone read Howl from Ginsberg? It's like a poem that lasts forever. I know there's another poem, isn't it? Is it, one of the philosophers wrote, it was like a book, but one poem. It's a little bit too self-congratulatory. It's a little bit self-absorbing. A little bit. I had a friend who sent me a book that their dad wrote. I paid £20 for it. So she asked me about 3 months ago, my dad's writing a book. Will you buy it? Now, she's helped me out loads. So I was like, okay. She's been a friend for 17 years or something. So yeah. I said, yeah, not really meaning it. It's a little bit like, when someone asks you, that they say that I'm moving a house at the weekend, and you say, oh, can I help? And you think that's the end of the conversation. It's like, it's a meaningless gesture. And next thing, like, yeah, that's great. Can you be here at 9 a.m, or do you want to meet us at the new address? Huh? What are you talking about? On Saturday, when we move? Yeah, what, are you moving, are you? Okay, yeah, so? You said you're going to help. Oh. No, wait, you got to... I didn't mean it. I just said it. I didn't actually mean... I was just being pretentious and pretending to want to help. It was an empty gesture. I don't know what else to say to you. Of course I don't want to help. Why would I? Or give up my Saturday to help you move furniture? Why? 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 I wouldn't even move my own furniture. Why? So it was a little bit like that. And so I said, yeah, I'll buy your dad's book, of course. Forgot all about it. She sends me this text message saying, oh, my dad's book's now published. It's been published. I need £20 from you, and I'll send it to you. So I texted back, said, okay, just give it to me when you've got it, when I see you. And that was it. And he said, another message the next day, right, how do you want to pay the money? And I'll send it to you. I said, okay, I'll tell you. So I put the money into a bank. So I paid you your £20. Give me the book when I see you. Don't bother sending it. 3 days later, it comes through the post. She just doesn't listen to anything. She's just going to do what she's going to do. She's not going to listen to me. A week later, she phones me up. So have you read the book? I said, of course not. She said, what do you mean? I said, why would I want to read a book written by your dad? I wouldn't want to read a book written by my own dad. I wouldn't want to read a book written by me. Why am I going to sit there and spend 5 hours of my life reading a book written by someone that I've not even met, about someone else that I've not even met, just because they're related to you? Now, in retrospect, I'm not sure if I approached it correctly. I'm not sure if I perhaps should have been a bit different, a bit more gentle. I just thought maybe she'd appreciate some honesty. But I'm not going to read it. But I said it in a jokey. I didn't say it in a horrible way. I did it in a jokey way. But she thought it was funny. But I'm never going to read it. It's going to be on my bookcase forever for no reason. Why am I going to... I haven't got time for that. Reading a book that is no... I read books that interest me because I bought them because they interest me. I don't read for the sake of it. I remember when I went to Ireland and I was just talking to Andre, the original Andre, saying, I miss my books because I left my books in London. And in fact, I think I lost most of them, so I had one book with me. I used to have a really good collection of books when I was in London. I built them up again. This is my fourth book collection I think I've had. So his mum she followed me, she took me into the living room and she said, look, pointing to a bookcase, we've got books here. I said, okay, thanks. It's like, you don't get it. It's not just, I need to read a book. You know? I was like, okay, there you go. Like, I like magazines. And someone hands you a boxing weekly. Now, if you're interested and you love to read Vogue, you're not going to be wanting to read Boxing Weekly. Necessarily, maybe you do, but generally, like, if I want a boxing I want a boxing. Well, that's sport, so here's a racing car magazine. No, I don't want to read that. I want to read boxing because I love me boxing. There's some books, you can read them. Now, in fairness, there were some pretty nice books. There was lots of like Charles Dickens and stuff like that. So I did read some of them, to be fair. But that's not the point. The point is, look, there's books there. This is not. It's not how it works. I like food. Well, there's some food there. I'm hungry. You can eat that. But I don't want to eat that. I want to eat something that I like to eat. And it's not that. Definitely not that. You eat that. I'm not going to eat it. It's going to have to go in the bin if you don't. I don't even know what it is. Do you know what it is? Really? Doesn't look like that. If it was left in the oven too long. End scene. Oh, that's a new script for my new play. It's I don't want that. That's what it's called. Don't want that. Or I'm not hungry now. That could be another one. Could be another title. So yeah, I went into this meditation retreat in, I think it was 2005, 2006, something like that. Maybe 2007. And it was this windmill. I think it's a windmill on a farm. And I was sleeping in one of the rooms on my own. I found a bookcase and it was full of books that were actually interesting to me. Loads of like books on psychology and various different therapies and things like that. Now that's a bookcase that I'm interested in. But then, to be fair, take me to a bookcase and I will be interested. I like books. I'm not necessarily going to want to read them, but I would like to look. So if I visited someone's house and they had 200 books on a bookcase, I'm going to want to have a look at that bookcase. Even if it's just books about porridge, I mean, I still would want to have a little look just to see. Just to, not to get to kind of figure out what kind of person he is or she is, because I don't really think that's, I mean, it could be, you could probably get a little bit of an idea about their personality from what they read, but I don't think so really, necessarily. I got proof of that. Because if you looked at my bookcases, looked at all the types of books I've got, and you hadn't met me, you would think that I was intelligent. Seriously, you would. But before you met me, that is, obviously. Once you met me, that's thoughts and probably not going to occur in your mind. But by the book collection, all the different therapies and, textbooks that I've got, you might come to the conclusion that I'm somehow educated. So it's deceiving. It's very deceiving. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to go. I really am going to go. Thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself. Remember to be gentle with yourself, because you deserve to be happy. Lots of love. Bye.